Hey guys, you are welcome to my channel. My name is Mercy. So in today's class we'll be learning how to cut a cowl neck top. So these are the fabric materials I'm going to be using for it. The material is 1 yard. So I will start by ruling my baseline with my ruler, and that will be my starting point. From there I am going to get my shoulder. My shoulder is 8 plus 1 inch making 9 inches. So I will connect from the baseline to get my bust point 10 inches. From there my under bust 13, my waistline 16 inches, and the length of the on the dress. So the length is going to be 23 plus 2 inches sewing allowance is going to be 25. Okay, so I wanted to make it 24, but I leave it for 23 plus 2 inch seam allowance is going to be 25. So after that I am going to make use of my ruler to rule a straight line, like connect the bust point, under bust, rule the waistline, and as well the length of my top. After ruling it, what I'm going to do next is to go up from my chest line. I will go up from the bust point I'm going to go up by 2 inches to mark my chest line. That will serve as my chest line, and I will connect my shoulder line, which is 9, and rule the armhole from there. So from that place, from the chest line, I'm going to come out with 1.5 inches and connect, that is like curve the armhole like you see me doing. So I'm going to curve the armhole out. So after that, the next thing I'm going to do is to take my neck width and depth, which is the front 3 inches by 3 inches, and I'm going to make as a block line. Use my ruler to mark it out and curve the neck line out as well. Okay, so the next thing I am going to do again is to take my bust circumference, all my measurements divided by 4, my bust measurement divided by 4 plus 1.5 inches seam allowance, and I'm going to mark it out. I would measure out my under bust divided by 4 and plus 1.5 inch seam allowance, and I'm going to mark it. Okay, the same thing goes with the waist, plus 1.5 inch seam allowance. I will mark. Then coming to the down part, depending, it's your choice. If you how free you want the dress to be, you are going to put your waist measurement plus your seam allowance, but I added my hip measurement divided by 4 there, plus just 1 inch seam allowance, just 1 inch, and I am going to connect it. I will connect all the lines. So after connecting all the lines, the next thing for me to do next is to cut it out. Use my scissors to cut it out. So like one thing I didn't mark out is my shoulder slope, and I'm going to do that. Okay, I will come down from the shoulder armhole. I will come down by 1 inch and mark my shoulder slope. All right, so because this pattern, this is just a cowl neck top whatsoever, I didn't divide my armhole into 2 like we normally do. So it's going to be a slash and spread method. That is why I don't bother dividing my armhole into 2 just to give it that curve. So I'm going to go ahead and cut, and the next thing for me to do is to introduce my material, because I'm not going to cut out another, I'm not going to draft the back pattern again. I'm going to use this front pattern to cut the back using the fabric. So I have placed my pattern on my fabric and plus 1.5 zip allowance, as you can see there. So I have placed it, the front on top of the material, which is the back first. So I'm going to cut out the back, but what I'm going to do is just to mark my neck depth, which is 2 inches. The width is going to be the same, the front and back width is going to be the same. So after marking my 2 inches, I am going to cut. So that is just all for the back. The difference is the zip allowance and the neck depth, 3 by 2 inches. So I will just cut it out as I'm doing right now. So after trimming it out, the next thing for me to do is just open, that is to remove all the pins. I'll remove all the pins and mark the neck width with my chalk. After removing the pin, I'll mark it and connect the 2 inches depth to the 3 inches width of the back. So I will remove the pin and cut out the back of the neck. So after cutting it out, I'm going to do my zip tightening. So the next thing I'm going to do is just on the waist part, I will mark 16 inches from the shoulder to my waist, which is 16, and I will go in by ½ inches. I will cut it slantly, like cutting out the ½ inches, coming up to the shoulder part. I'll just slant it out. I'll open it up, and that is basically all for the back. This is just all for the back, and we are going to come again for the front where the real work is. So what I am going to do here right now is to measure from the shoulder and get 7 inches. Like from the shoulder you get 7 inches. You can as well get 8 inches or 9 inches depending on what you want. So mine is going to be 7 inches and I have marked it. So from there I am going to use my scissors to cut it open. I will slash it open. So this pattern is going to be a slash and spread method. So I'm going to place it on my fabric to slash and cut. So as you can see, I have already placed it and my fabric is unfolded, as you can see, and I've pinned it down already, leaving the upper side for the spreading. So what I'm going to do right now is to spread it like you see me doing. While spreading it, I will measure from that place that you are looking at. So I don't want my cleavage to show, so I am going to measure out 7.5 inches. So you can spread as wide as you like. So mine is 7.5 inches spread, and I will pin it down. From there I will use my chalk to mark the line out, like mark it out starting from the down parts like I'm doing right now. I will mark it out. I'll use the chalk, mark it all around. So when I get to the shoulder area, like the place that I curve the neckline, the place I'm touching right now, that place I'm marking, yes, that place. When I get to that place, I will pause and remove the pin from it. I will pause, then I'll bring down my pattern paper and cut out a little neckline instead of going from that place that I mark. Yes, from that place. No, I'm not going to cut out there, for I don't want my cleavage to show. So I'm going to just cut out a little. I'll just make out. I don't even know how to explain it, but I will, like you, as you can see. So I will use my marker to cut out, like curving it. Just give it a little neck shape. Understand? So I didn't cut from the main neck depth. I just cut out and take it up to that place that I stop marking. That's, I'll place it on that shoulder area, that place that I used my chalk to mark, and I'll continue curving it, marking it out, and mark it straight out. I've connected it. Okay, so I've connected it straight out. So the next thing for me to do right now is to cut it out. This is just all for the front part. So I am just cutting it out. You can see it's very easy. Like, it's very easy. Okay, so just do your own like so, and use your scissors to cut it out. So guys, after cutting it out, this is how it's looking like. This is how it's just looking like when I open it up and fold it out. You can see that the cowl is dropping. It's already dripping. I don't even know it's dripping, though, because this fabric is not a stretchy fabric. That is why it's not going to drape very well. So when you're making yours, make use of a stretchy fabric, okay, for you to give you that good drape. So I'm going to cut out the interface for the front. I'll be using the pieces to cut it out. It's going to get to the armhole area, so I'll just cut the front out, and I'll do the same thing on the back pattern as well. So this is just all for the cutting of the cowl neck top. I am going to upload a video for the sewing tutorial, guys. So this is basically all for it. Thank you guys for watching. Please, if you have not subscribed to my channel, please subscribe, and God bless you.